Hello everyone, thank you so much for joining me for another digital art lesson. This week I'm very excited to talk with you all about the color wheel. We're going to talk about the history of the color wheel a little bit, and then we're going to talk about how it ties in to today's art project. But first, let's talk about what materials we're going to need. Okay, so if you have room left in your sketchbook, you can use your sketchbook. If not, you can use any sort of paper. Some of my students have received a blue envelope that has different kinds of paper in it, and I'm going to use some of that off-white kind of golden paper for today's lesson, but you can use any paper that you have at home. You're going to need a pencil to sketch out your ideas first, and then you can use whatever you have to add color today. I'm going to use crayons for my example, and I happen to have some oil pastels, so I'm going to add oil pastels on mine as well. All right, let's talk about the history of the color wheel and the color wheel a little bit before we get started on today's art project. All right, so the history of the color wheel dates back to 1706, when famous mathematician Sir Isaac Newton was studying light and he invented the color wheel. Well, he was using a prism, which some of you have maybe seen before, or you may even have one. And he was using a prism to study light when he noticed that the light that exits the prism is a very beautiful, harmonious arrangement of colors. And he put that arrangement of colors down in a circular chart, which is known as the color wheel. So red, yellow, and blue are primary colors. That's very important when you're looking at the color wheel, because red, yellow, and blue, when they're mixed in a certain way, you get secondary colors, also known as green, orange, and purple. So today we are going to be looking at these 6 colors, and we are going to be putting them in a specific order in our creative color wheel drawing. And there's lots of different examples that I have to show you, and you can do anything that you want today as long as you're tying in a creative color wheel. So here's one example, and I use the circular shape of an iris to show the color wheel. And this is just one example, and this is one that we have been looking at a lot in our classes. Lots of students have liked that example. A couple other ones that I wanted to show you is you can just draw a circle and split it up into 6 different sections, and then draw things that remind you of those certain colors. So red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, remember, has to be in that order. And then draw things that remind you of those colors. It could be fruits or vegetables. It could be baseball teams or sports teams. It could be video game characters or characters from a book that you like. It could be whatever you like, as long as you're doing it in that order of colors. Another thing you can do are fun little snail shells and things like that, or an umbrella. Now, a lot of my students have been asking me, what if it's not a perfect circle? Do I have to do a circle? And I've been letting them do whatever shape they would like to, as long as they're tying in the color wheel. So this is a kitty cat, and it's still red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, colored in that very specific way that represents a creative color wheel. So no, it does not have to be in a perfect circle. It also doesn't have to go in a circle. For example, you can do a red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple going from top to bottom if you would like to as well. Okay, so in the corner of our paper, we're going to do a little example color wheel. It's going to help remind us that exact order of those colors. So in the edges of your triangle, after you draw a triangle, draw the primary colors. Remember, that was red, yellow, and blue. Now, it's all going to come together. I know you're saying, it's a triangle, Ben, it's not a color wheel. Well, red and yellow make orange, so you're going to put orange there. Make green, so you're going to put green there. And blue and red make purple, so you're going to put purple there. And then you have a very quick color wheel example that you can use for your color wheel drawing. You do not have to do it in a circular shape. Say that you draw a cat. Let's do a quick cat really quick. Say that you draw a cat like this, and you want to add color going down like this. You could start with red and then go orange and then yellow, green, blue, purple. The other thing that's been happening to some of my students is they have, when they're drawing, but they're at the end of the color wheel. Well, you can just go ahead and repeat the color wheel and go back to red and put in orange if you'd like to underneath that, yellow, and so on. So you do not have to do a perfect circle for your color wheel. It doesn't have to be a circular color wheel. You can go top to bottom if you like to, or side to side, but I want it to be in that order to show the color wheel for today's project. Okay everyone, well, I hope you all had fun learning about the color wheel with me and doing your own creative color wheel drawings, and I can't wait to see some of your artwork from this week's lesson. I'll see you all next time.